Hello, Army. Welcome back to Taekook Update Channel. Nobody expected this moment to happen during BTS's final night in Stanford, California. But suddenly, fans noticed Taehyung sitting unusually quiet while the entire stadium was still full of energy. His expression looked different, distant, almost emotional, and within minutes, fan cams started spreading everywhere online. What shocked ARMY even more was Jungkook's reaction. Out of all the members, he was the only one who kept glancing back at Taehyung, watching him closely while everyone else stayed focused on the crowd. Some fans even noticed Jungkook subtly changing his behavior the moment Taehyung lowered his head and tried to hide his face beneath the hoodie. Then came the moment that made the entire fandom emotional. Taehyung appeared to wipe away tears while lying silently on the stage floor, and the atmosphere instantly changed. Was he overwhelmed because it was the final concert? Was something happening behind the scenes? Or did Jungkook notice something fans completely missed? Because after these clips went viral, ARMYs everywhere started asking the exact same question. What really happened to Taehyung that night? The clips from Stanford did not explode online because of loud moments or chaotic performances. What made millions of fans replay the fan cams over and over again was how strangely quiet Taehyung looked throughout the night. In a stadium filled with screaming fans, flashing lights, and emotional final speeches, he somehow seemed disconnected from everything around him, almost like he was carrying a weight nobody else could see. At first, ARMYs thought it was just exhaustion. The concert had already been emotional from the beginning, and the atmosphere inside the stadium felt heavier than usual. Every member looked sentimental, knowing the night would become another unforgettable memory for fans. But Taehyung's behavior slowly became impossible to ignore. He smiled less, stayed quieter, and spent long moments staring down at the stage floor while the others interacted with the crowd. What truly made fans emotional, however, was not Taehyung alone. It was Jungkook. The moment fan cams from different angles were uploaded online, people immediately noticed the pattern. Jungkook kept looking toward Taehyung repeatedly throughout the concert. Not once, not twice. Again and again. Even while sitting beside other members, his attention seemed to drift back toward Taehyung every few minutes, as if he were silently checking whether he was okay. Then another clip spread even faster. Taehyung suddenly lowered himself onto the stage floor, while the others remained seated nearby. His hoodie partially covered his face, making it difficult to fully see his expression, but fans noticed subtle movements that looked like he was wiping tears away. The entire mood of the fan cam changed instantly. Even the people recording from the audience sounded quieter, almost confused by what they were witnessing. And once again, Jungkook reacted. He turned his body toward Taehyung, watching him longer this time. Not dramatically. Not enough for casual viewers to notice immediately. But in slowed-down clips, fans became convinced that Jungkook's expression shifted completely after seeing Taehyung lying there alone. His face lost the playful energy he had earlier in the concert, replaced with a look ARMYs described as concern, confusion, or even helplessness. That was when social media exploded. Within hours, theories flooded every platform. Some believed Taehyung was simply overwhelmed by emotions from the final concert atmosphere. Others thought the pressure, exhaustion, and non-stop schedules had finally caught up to him. But the reason this moment became so massive online was because nobody truly knew what had happened. The uncertainty made every tiny detail feel important. Every glance from Jungkook suddenly became evidence fans desperately tried to understand. More fan cams surfaced as the night continued. In several clips, Taehyung stayed unusually close to the ground, avoiding eye contact with cameras while the crowd continued chanting BTS's name around the stadium. Meanwhile, Jungkook appeared quieter than before, no longer showing the same carefree reactions from earlier parts of the concert. Fans began replaying the clip side by side, analyzing expressions frame by frame, convinced something emotional had happened between the two that cameras failed to fully capture. What made the entire situation even more emotional was the contrast between the concert's atmosphere and Taehyung's behavior. Stanford was supposed to be a celebration. The lights were beautiful, the audience was louder than ever, and every member tried to leave unforgettable memories for ARMY. Yet in the middle of all that energy, Taehyung looked like someone trying to hold himself together while millions of eyes watched him. And somehow, Jungkook seemed to notice it before everyone else did. Fans pointed out how quickly Jungkook's attention changed whenever Taehyung moved or lowered his head. It was subtle enough to deny, but emotional enough to make people unable to stop talking about it. Some fans even admitted the clips felt painful to watch because Jungkook looked like he wanted to help but didn't know how, while cameras surrounded them from every direction. As more videos appeared online, one particular moment became the center of discussion. Taehyung briefly lifted his face while sitting beside the members, and despite the distance and blurry quality, fans claimed his eyes looked visibly red. Seconds later, Jungkook glanced toward him again, this time remaining completely still afterward. No huge reaction. No dramatic movement. Just silence. That silence became louder than anything else from the concert. By the next morning, hashtags connected to the Stanford concert were already trending everywhere. Millions of fans debated whether the moment was simply emotional exhaustion or something deeper hidden behind the cameras. Some believed Taehyung was struggling to process the emotions of another major BTS milestone. Others became convinced there was a private reason behind his tears that fans would never fully know. But regardless of the theories, one thing kept everyone replaying the fan cams nonstop. Out of all 7 members on stage that night, Jungkook was the one who seemed unable to stop watching Taehyung. The more fans watched the Stanford fan cams, the stranger the entire night began to feel. What first looked like a simple emotional moment slowly turned into one of the most talked about BTS concert clips in recent memory. Every new angle uploaded by fans revealed another detail people had missed before, and somehow all of those details kept leading back to Taehyung and Jungkook. One video in particular changed everything. The clip showed the members sitting together on stage while the crowd continued singing in the background. Taehyung stayed unusually still beside the others, his hood partially covering his face, as if he wanted to disappear from the cameras around him. Meanwhile, Jungkook appeared distracted, constantly shifting his attention away from the audience and back toward Taehyung. It happened so naturally that many viewers missed it the first time. But once fans slowed the video down, the atmosphere suddenly felt completely different. Jungkook wasn't simply glancing at him. He looked worried. That single observation caused another wave of discussion online. Fans started comparing Jungkook's expressions from earlier performances to the ones captured during the Stanford concert, and many noticed the same thing. His energy seemed lighter at the beginning of the show, but after Taehyung's emotional moments became noticeable, Jungkook appeared quieter and more focused on him than on the crowd itself. Then came another moment nobody expected. As the members continued sitting together near the edge of the stage, Taehyung suddenly leaned farther away from the group and lowered his head again. From certain angles, it almost looked like he was trying to hide his expression completely. Fans immediately noticed Jungkook turning toward him afterward, remaining still for several seconds while the rest of the stadium continued glowing with lights and cheers. That contrast broke people emotionally, because while tens of thousands of fans were celebrating what should have been a happy concert memory, Taehyung looked like someone silently struggling in the middle of it all. And the only person who seemed fully aware of it was Jungkook. As the clip spread across social media, armies began connecting even smaller details from the night. Some noticed how Taehyung barely reacted during moments where he would normally laugh with the members. Others pointed out how often Jungkook subtly checked where Taehyung was sitting, even during unrelated parts of the concert. None of it proved anything directly, yet together, the moments created a feeling fans could not ignore. It felt personal, and that was exactly why the Stanford concert became impossible to stop talking about. The emotions captured on camera did not feel staged or performative. They felt raw, almost accidental, like fans had witnessed a private moment that was never meant to become viral in the first place. Hours later, another fan cam surfaced from a completely different section of the stadium. The quality was blurry, but the emotional atmosphere somehow felt even stronger. In the video, Taehyung stayed lying quietly on the stage floor while the members remained nearby. The audience continued cheering loudly, but Taehyung barely moved. Then, from the side of the frame, Jungkook looked back toward him once again. Fans immediately froze the clip. What shocked people most was not the movement itself, but Jungkook's expression afterward. His face looked serious, almost heavy, before he quickly looked away again as cameras kept recording. That brief reaction lasted only seconds, yet it became one of the most replayed moments from the entire concert. Soon, emotional edits flooded every platform. Slow-motion clips, soft music, captions asking the same heartbreaking question over and over again. What was Taehyung feeling that night? And why did Jungkook seem to understand it before everyone else? Some fans believe Taehyung was overwhelmed by the realization that moments like these never last forever. Others thought the pressure of standing before thousands of people while carrying years of emotions finally became too much in one quiet instant. But regardless of the theories, the emotional center of the story never changed. Jungkook kept watching him, even when cameras moved elsewhere, even when fans screamed louder, even when the members tried to keep the atmosphere light and warm for ARMY. Jungkook's attention repeatedly drifted back toward Taehyung, as though he could sense something nobody else fully understood. And perhaps the most painful part for fans was this. Neither of them explained anything afterward. No official statement appeared. No direct explanation was given. The concert ended. The clips remained online. And millions of fans were left replaying the same emotional moments, trying to understand what truly happened on that stage in Stanford, California. But maybe that silence is exactly why the videos became unforgettable. Because sometimes, the moments that hurt the most are the ones nobody can fully explain.